Hey, people, listen, happy Friday. It's Trending Topics Friday, okay? I'm a little late, but I'm still in the building. I had to do some things before I came up here today. But listen, people, I'm here, and it's shocking. That's the title for tonight, shocking. Child. Let me tell you something. When the people came for Jay-Z, you know they said, you got the right one? Oh, Tony Buzbee had the right one. Because Jay-Z's not playing these games with Tony Buzbee. So Jane Doe, I don't understand. If you want to be anonymous, be anonymous. If you don't want to be anonymous, don't be anonymous. But she spoke to NBC News. Now, I don't know if Tony Buzbee forced her to go talk because they on his neck, or she just went and spoke on her own. But you being anonymous, I just say stay anonymous. But she came out, she spoke to NBC, and NBC had to call her back and said, your story ain't adding up. Now, y'all can't blame Diva. Y'all can't be saying, oh, Diva, you victim shaming. NBC, she did an interview with them. And they do fact checking because they have a whole team. And after the interview, they had to call her back. They said the math ain't mathing. But we said that over here the other day, but that's okay. Now NBC said it. So remember, part of her lawsuit, she said after all of this happened to her, her daddy, she got to a gas station, she called her daddy, and daddy came and picked her up. Well, guess what? Daddy said he don't remember. Her father, her own father, said he don't remember ever picking her up. He don't remember this situation or the story, and he think that something like that he would remember. So, of course, many people say, well, I think daddy got paid off. Well, let's back this up for a minute. They said the address upon which they lived at that time and where the VMAs was and where she could have possibly been, they said it's a 5-hour difference. So was she just sitting on the side of the road waiting for 5 hours for daddy to come pick her up? Make it make sense, people. But you want to wait? You want me to add to the story? Tony Buzbee, he was sending Jay-Z demand letters because he said he just wanted to talk to Jay-Z. But now, because his client and some of the pieces of her story is not adding up, he's claiming that wasn't his original client. He got her from some other lawyer, and he's still vetting out her story, but she's 10 toes down about what happened to her. Sir, you a whole lawyer that went to law school, and you claim when you gave out that 1-800 number, you had over 3,000 clients, 3,000 people call you, and y'all vetted it out. Now you want to tell us because you're Jane Doe that has some inconsistencies in her story, you still vetting it out? Well, how you sending people demand letters and you didn't finish vetting her out? Tony, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed and messed with the wrong one. See, Diddy was an easy target because the media had already put out so much salacious stuff about Diddy that I could probably go to a lawyer and say a Diddy story and people be like, oh my God, look what Diddy did to Diva. And Diva is a whole lie. But they're going to believe it because Diddy's name is already mud. But honey, he wasn't prepared for the world. See, he lumped all the black people together. He thought, oh, Diddy was a big person. He was a billionaire. They tearing him down. Hey, I'm going to throw Jay-Z in it. Well, he caught a bad one with that. Not Sean Carter. Sean Carter is on his neck. And he ain't letting up. He's not letting up for 1.2 seconds. every chance he gets, he's letting the people know that he feels that Tony Buzbee is a whole lie. Tony, I don't know what you're going to do, sir. But when you amended that lawsuit last Sunday and you had a Jay-Z, you declared war. And honey, there's been 5 battles in between this war, and guess what? You lost all 5. And now your own client's father, which is a major piece in this story, is saying he don't remember picking up his daughter from nowhere. But besides that, he would have had to drive 5 hours. What's shocking to me is he's a whole lawyer, worth a whole lot of money, and cause of greed. You know, there's a whole show called American Greed. Because of greed, now he's in a pickle. And they tried to call this Jane Doe relatives. No one is getting back to NBC trying to collaborate this girl's story. And then she claimed she saw other celebrities at this VMA after party. And those celebrities, they was like, we was on tour at the time. We wasn't there. This is a hot flaming mess. It's shocking, but we're going to talk about it. Now, let me tell you this. Let's get into the Will Smith situation. You know, there's been a lot of names popping around when it comes to Diddy. And my thing is, if I was Diddy's friend, or I was around at that time, and just because I was around don't mean I did anything sinister. But if I was Diddy's friend and I was around at that time, I would do like most are doing. I would go mute. Remember Beyonce when she was on tour, she did the mute challenge? Yeah, I would do the Beyonce challenge when a paparazzi come in my face. Hey, Diva, was you hanging out with Diddy? We got a lot of pictures with you and Diddy. I would just keep looking straight and going to my car. So now Will Smith think it's funny. And Will Smith, of all people, who literally almost got canceled after he smacked the piss out of Chris Rock. See, you see how soon people forget? He, of all people, should know how bad it feels and how terrible it is when the world is against you. But now he think it's funny. He's making baby oil jokes and acting like he never was in Diddy's face. Now, Will Smith, you a whole lie. And Will Smith, I like you. But y'all know when I talk over here, I keep it 100. And if you go back to all my Will Smith videos when he smacked Chris Rock, I was saying, cut the man a break. We don't got to cancel him forever. But I got to call something for what it is. They didn't want you in Hollywood ever again. They was canceling every single movie that you had coming out when you smacked Chris Rock. Yes, they was, Will Smith. So now for you to be somewhere, opening your mouth, making a joke about Diddy and this baby oil, shame on you. We stood by you, Will. At least I did. When what was that guy named that came out and did the interview on Tasha K and said that Will Smith was, you know, the bumping and grinding with another guy? Will, I stood by you and I said the people shouldn't be trying to out nobody, tell nobody business. And now you think it's a kiki and a ha-ha when there's documented picture after picture after picture after picture of you and Diddy. Now you're going to talk about you ain't never been at no after party. You never did. Will, stop. You see how people are messy? And Will was really depressed. He was very depressed when he was going through that stuff after the whole Chris Rock thing. And now, because he made Bad Boys 4 and he's back up, coming up on the rise, now you think it's funny to kick another man while he was down. And Will, I didn't let them kick you when you was down, not over here on my channel. So I want you to straighten up and pull up and get yourself together. because you know good and well that you was friends with Diddy. Because there's not too many people in Hollywood that was not. Yeah, come on, lying brother Bilal. Yes, come on. Yeah, I stood by him when brother Bilal was lying on him. So we'll calm down with the Diddy jokes because you was in his face and you was his friend. Nah, Shirley said I should have let him get kicked out. Mm-hmm. And Will Smith, you asking for atonement from the first. What was Auntie Bib? He's asking for atonement from the first Auntie Bib, who he was fighting for decades. This woman said because of Will Smith, she got blackballed in Hollywood. You see how some people can't humble themselves. You see how soon they forget. He was just the other day, I saw the article. He was asking for forgiveness. He was so upset on how he treated Aunt Viv for decades. And now you want to try to act like you don't know Will. We could do a whole slideshow with all the pictures of you and Diddy. Stop it, Will, but we're going to talk about it. And then we got this shocking decision by Diddy. So Diddy, before he even had the chance to come up with this new judge that denied his bail right before Thanksgiving, yeah, that judge played Diddy out. He was in the courtroom, said, "Oh, okay, Diddy, to his lawyer, well, if I do let him out, where will he stay?" They said the Miami mansion. The judge was like, "No." They said, well, we got an apartment on the Upper East Side. And Diddy thought he was 2 seconds from moving on up like the Jeffersons in a 3-bedroom apartment in the sky. And then right before Thanksgiving, the judge pulled the rug and said, no, you're a danger to yourself, society, and everybody else. We ain't letting him out. Mm-hmm. So before he went and had that third bail hearing, they had already appealed it to the Second Circuit Court or something like that. So they would have had a fourth opportunity to go to another court and judge and say, can I just go home? But Diddy and his team, they pulled back that opportunity. I told him he should knock it off and just start fighting for his life and looking at the evidence. In my mind, the people be watching me, y'all. In my mind, I ain't saying that it's true. They be watching and they taking notes. So, oh, maybe Diva making some sense there. But I said that he needed to knock off this whole bail hearing thing and focus on his evidence. And they also just put a letter in the court to give this man his laptop. Do you know after all of that, he still don't got the laptop? I just saw a document today saying, they fight and they want this laptop. And he said he pulled back his opportunity for this appeal. He said, forget it. I guess he has resolved himself. He has resolved himself on being in jail into his trial. But you know why I think he got that new revelation from? I think he got that new revelation from Sean Carter. Because Diddy's lawyers talking to him, they said, you see how Sean Carter is doing this? You see how he's winning? If you shut up, Diddy, calm down, and let us do what we do, like that Quinn Emanuel law firm is doing, we might have a chance. Shout out to Quinn Emanuel law firm. If you are thinking about being a lawyer and you are in the New York area, but I do think they have locations other places, you better get with the winning team. They are over there doing a darn thing for Jay-Z, for Sean Carter. But you want to know why they're doing this thing for Sean Carter? Not only does he have money and he's paying them, he had utilized them to help other people. I forgot that client that he helped them people. Remember we did that story? It was a chain restaurant where they threw the man on the floor. They thought he was the one they was looking for. Meantime, the real criminal was hiding in the bathroom. It was a mess. He got a lawyer for them, Jay-Z. So Quinn Emanuel Jay-Z's been a long-time client of them, and they're not going to mess up that money. They will stay up 24 hours out the day drinking coffee and tea and making sure that Jay-Z wins. Yes, they will. So Diddy's lawyer said, do you see what's going on over there? Do you see how Sean Carter is handling this thing? Do you see how he's winning? Can you once listen to us? Stop your little shenanigans. Stop trying to be lawyer from the jail. Now, I'm going to say this. I didn't think that man was going to last that long behind bars. I didn't think he had it in him. I didn't. Because I tell you right now, if they even tried to come put handcuffs on me, I'm going to pass out. I know handcuffs. Not me in nobody's jail. I couldn't do 24 hours, 10 days, 10 minutes in nobody's back in no police car in no jail. I didn't think he was going to last. I did not. I also didn't think, because I felt like he was highly addicted on substances. I didn't think he was going to last because of him, and I didn't think he was going to last because I thought he was going to go through severe detox. Yes, I did. I was 10 toes down on that. But obviously, Diddy, he over there in the Metropolitan Detention Center chilling. Because for him to not even try to, go to bail again, he said, forget it. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at Diddy. Up in that Metropolitan Detention Center being a whole gangster. I didn't think he had it in him. I did not. But guess what? I guess he does. But listen, people, y'all know what time it is. I got to bring the people in the building because we already started this train. This train was severely delayed tonight. But you know what? It's still pulling out the building. So let me go ahead. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Friday Night Trending Topics, and the title is called Shocking, okay? I had to swap out a story real quick. We got Diddy's shocking decision. He said, you know what? I give up. He surrendered, y'all. He is not fighting for bail anymore. That's right, Diddy. Look at that evidence and fight for your life. Remember when R. Kelly did that interview with Gayle King? He said, I'm fighting for my life. Diddy, fight for your life. I don't know what happened at a freak off. I don't know what you did or didn't do. But you know what? Sit up, stand up, and fight. We got Tony Buzbee is busted. He's a whole hot mess of a lawyer, and we're going to talk about it. And Will Smith denies Diddy. Shame on you, Will. And I watched that Bad Boys 4, but I didn't go to the movies. I watched it on Netflix, and it was okay. It was okay. Let me bring the people on in the building because I done talked enough. Hey, Felicia. Hey, in my opinion. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Julius.
Hey, y'all. Hit the like button.
Night train.
Hey, you're Night Train. You ain't lying. Night Train. You know what, y'all? We're going to get right into this Jay-Z's, and this Tony Buzbee. Tony Buzbee is a disgrace. He's a disgrace. Now, I don't know what it takes to disbar somebody, but I think he's running in that area. And did you know what too? I just didn't do it because sometimes there's so many stories out there. But there's a client of Tony Buzbee's that said Tony was loaning him his own money that he won in a case, like a loan shark. It was crazy. But let's get into this. So Jay-Z, our accuser, comes forward to NBC News, acknowledges the inconsistencies in her allegations. The woman told NBC News she came forward because you should always advocate for yourself. When asked about inconsistencies in her account, she added, I made some mistakes. If she made some mistakes, what did she think would happen to her on the stand? Houston, an Alabama woman who accused Jay-Z and Diddy of arming her when she was 13 years old, sat down with NBC News to recount what she called a catastrophic event. A limo ride to a White House, a drink that made her feel woozy, an essay by rap stars that will ruin her life. But the woman, her lawyers, also acknowledged that there were some inconsistencies in her accounts in response to questions from NBC News. Well, shout out to NBC News for asking the hard questions. Okay, I made some mistakes and recollections of that night. The woman identified as Jane Doe in a lawsuit filed against Jay-Z and Diddy told NBC News. The woman says she stands by her allegations overall. The inconsistencies in her account of the incident, alleged to have happened 24 years ago, does not necessarily mean the allegations are false. Among the inconsistencies, the woman said her father picked her up after the alleged essay, but he says he doesn't recall that. The woman also claims she spoke to a celebrity at the after party where she said she was SA, but that celebrity said he was not in New York at the time. Images from that evening show Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and Sean Diddy Combs at a different location than the one the woman described, although their whereabouts for the entire evening are unclear. The incident didn't happen, Carter told NBC News in a statement Friday, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. He added, referring to one of the woman's attorneys, Tony Buzbee. True justice is coming. Listen, Jay-Z is on Tony's neck. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon. Buzbee says he is continuing to vet her claims. How are you continuing to vet her claims and you sending out demand letters? These are serious accusations, sir. You need to have vetted out her claims before you put claims in a court document and signed off on them. Jane Doe case was referred to our firm by another who vetted it prior to sending it to us. He told NBC News in an email, our client remains fiercely adamant that what she has stated is true to the best of her memory. We will continue to vet her claims and collect corroborating data to the extent it exists because we have interrogated her intensely. She has even agreed to submit a polygraph. I never had a client suggest that before. First, you said you still vetted her claims, but now you're saying you interrogated her intensely. Sir. In any event, he added, we always do our best to vet each claim made, just as we did in this case. This has been extremely distressing for her to the point she has experienced seizures and had to seek medical treatment due to the stress. The allegations against Carter suggest a seismic shift, potentially linking the rap legend to the alleged behavior laid out in civil and criminal cases against Combs, who is in Brooklyn jail awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Carter's attorney, Alex Spiro, said, it is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without proper vetting, hello, people, but would make things worse by further peddling the sports story in the press. We are asking the court to dismiss the frivolous case today. It will take up the matter of additional discipline for Mr. Buzbee and all the lawyers that filed the complaint. They are on their neck. Combs' attorney called the suit a shameful money grab. Buzbee has filed more than 20 lawsuits against Combs. The lawsuit was originally filed in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Combs as a defendant, and it was refiled Sunday to name Carter as another defendant. NBC News traveled to Houston to interview the woman, who declined to be identified at her attorney's office earlier this week. You should always fight for what happened to you, she said about why she is going public with her accusations now. You should always advocate for yourself and be the voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did ruin or run your life. I hope I can give others the strength to come forward like I came forward. The woman, who is now 38, told NBC News she was living in Rochester, New York in 2000, and that attending the VMAs was on my bucket list at 13. It was like, oh my gosh, one of those things I've got to do. She says she snuck out a window to evade her parents. A friend drove for the Radio City Music Hall in New York, Radio City Music Hall in New York City, she said in a lawsuit. People thronged into viewing areas outside the venue, which was decked out for the awards. Crowds roared when J-Lo arrived. Eminem performed on the street. She didn't have a ticket and said in the suit she watched some of the show on the Jumbotron outside. She also started chatting up limo drivers. I'm trying to get in to try to stay back and go to an after party and get invited in and meet some celebrities, she told NBC News. One limo driver said he worked for Combs and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. The suit said, and he told her to return later and he'll take her to an after party. About 20 minutes in the limo, she said in the suit, she arrived at a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway, she said in the suit, and signed a document that she didn't read. Inside, she told NBC News, I was talking to like Fred Durst. Benji made it about his tattoo. Because about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper. Because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about. After accepting a drink from a waitress, she told NBC News, I started feeling funny. Tried to start looking for a place to lay down. She found an empty room with a bed in it. She said in a suit. And soon after, Combs, Carter, and a woman entered the room. You're ready to party, Combs said, according to the suit. But Combs and Carter argued her, she said. Jay-Z comes over, holds me down. I start trying to push away. He puts his hand over my mouth, tells me to stop it, to cut the S, and then he arms me like he had me overpowered, she said. Afterwards, she said in a suit, she managed to flee the house and ran to a gas station. I was upset, and the person at the gas station could tell that I was obviously upset, and she let me use the phone. I called my dad because he was the only person I trust at the time. I told him I messed up and I needed a ride home, she told NBC News. We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was. She told NBC News she never told anyone about the alleged assault or wrote it down in a diary. Even if somebody found out, who was going to believe me? I mean, it was the word of two celebrities against mine, she said. The years afterward were hard, she said. I got severely depressed. I withdrew completely. My grades started slipping, and she dropped out of school. She experienced homelessness, she said, and at one point suffered a head injury. She and her father also said she was AR'd later in life. She now has 2 children, a son and a daughter. She served less than a year in the Army National Guard and left with the rank of private. She got her high school diploma and got my Christian counseling certification so that I can help people who have gone through what I've gone through, she said. She also said she has applied behavior analysis certification. She can help people with autism, which she says she has. There are so little resources to moms that don't have the proper amount of income, she said. Reaction was swift in the days since the woman went public with her allegations against Carter. The rapper released a statement calling the claims idiotic and heinous in nature and sharply criticizing her attorney. There are some inconsistencies in her story about that night. Her father told NBC News that he does not recall picking her up after the alleged attack, casting doubt on a key detail in her lawsuit. According to their address at the time, her father would have had driven more than 5 hours from their home to pick her up. I feel like I will remember that, and I don't, he said in an interview Thursday. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind. The woman's father, who said he learned of the alleged assault this week, added that he did remember once picking her up in the middle of the night, but he said it was a local drive. Asked about her father's account in a follow-up interview on Friday, the woman said she stood by her claim that he had picked her up and that it's possible he had misremembered. There are a lot of things, and this is stuff that we argue about constantly. Something he said or did back in New York around that time period, he just doesn't remember, she said. It actually causes a lot of fights, sometimes in the household. Regarding her father's recollections, Buzbee told NBC News, we We agree. He states he doesn't remember. His daughter explains that he is in no state to remember during that point in time due to the personal issues he was having then. We are talking about a time frame more than 20 years ago. The woman also told NBC News she spoke with musician Benji Maiden at the after party. But a representative from Maiden confirmed that neither Benji nor his brother Joel attended the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time. The woman did not accuse the brothers of any wrongdoing. Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me and the route that I took to what happened to me. Not all of the faces there are as clear, the woman said in a Friday follow-up interview. So I have made some mistakes. I may have made a mistake in identifying. The woman also could not provide further information about the after party she said she attended. Professional images revealed by NBC News show Combs and Carter were among the celebrities who attended a VMA's after party at the Lotus nightclub in New York City. It is not clear what time those images were taken or if Combs and Carter attended other after parties. The building that housed Lotus, now closed, does not match the description of the house the woman described in the lawsuit in an interview. I didn't know exactly where we were going or even how long it took, the woman said when asked Tuesday where she thought she was taking that night. She added that she had guessed about the length of time the trip had taken in the lawsuit. Buzbee said, "We have attempted to confirm the correct location. We have never suggested the location was the Lotus Club. Our client has been very specific and detailed about the description of the venue she said she was taken to, and she has never stated it was the Lotus Club." He added, "We won't speculate on whether there was an after party because, again, she doesn't know that." Also, among the woman's allegations that could not be corroborated is how she made it to New York City that night. One of her attorneys provided NBC News with the name and birthday of the friend she said drove her, who would have been 20 at the time. The person appears to have since died. NBC News attempts to reach out to the person's relatives were unsuccessful. Oh, this is a lot. Felicia, your thoughts?
Oh, good evening, everybody. There's something about the truth. And when it rises to the top,
oh my gosh,
and you see all the falsehoods, all the lies, all the so-called mistakes. Her father doesn't remember. She says, "Oh, he got problems. We always fighting in the household." Why are you still living with your father, girl? She and her father say that she had been a victim of SA. But I don't know, in this interview, or they chopped it up, there was no mention of her having filed charges against this person. But her father does remember picking her up one time. So I'm gathering that was the one time her father picked her up. She goes on to say that she was just chatting it up. Now, let's all get this together now. This is a 13-year-old.
Come on, talk.
And so these VMA awards, they do that whole carpet thing, and then maybe the show starts about 8 o'clock. It goes to like 11 o'clock. And she's out here on 50th and 6th Avenue chatting up limo drivers. She's going from one limo driver to the other, looking for a ride to an after party. Now, I'm confident that there were many after parties, and that a driver could have very well driven you to an after party.
Woo, come on, talk.
And in the article, she says, "Well, I'm not clear on identifying people."
Oh my God. That's going to come back to bite her, but go ahead.
Well, she's 13. At the time, we didn't have social media. These two men weren't as prominent as they are right now. And I don't want to go all the way there, but I am tonight. You know, it said all black people look alike. So I don't know where she was, because she don't know where she was. I don't know who drove her. I don't know why she was on the street, because according to her, she lived in Rochester. Rochester to New York City is quite a drive.
Oh, come on now.
And this 20-year-old drops you off. Oh, that's right. And she's dead. So her witness to the drive ain't here no more. Okay, so that person's dead. But she's driving from Rochester to New York City with a 20-year-old who's no longer here. Hello, folks. She's 13. She's in a car with a 20-year-old. And she snuck out of a window to evade her parents. Then she says, well, I now got 2 kids and I can help people. Help people how?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I got a certificate in Christian counseling. Don't blame this on the Christian system. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do this. And her slime for the streets gangster thug attorney.
Oh, come on now.
What an embarrassment. There were a couple of times where Mr. Buzbee said that the reason why so many of his plaintiffs were coined Jane Doe and John Doe was because they do intense therapy, counseling, and give lots of support to these people, particularly SA victims, so that they would be ready to make their statements and have some point of clarity and understanding as to what happened to them. Now Tony says, well, yeah, we're still vetting the claim. Sir, you've been sending out demand letters. And let's be clear, these demand letters, according to Mr. Carter and his attorneys, had drawings in them of a clock with a time bomb face, like ticking. Okay, but you were still vetting the claim. In fact, he's vetting it tonight.
And so, you find the driver who happens to be dead.
Right. Yeah, this 20-year-old. So I was listening intently because I'm trying to figure out, how does Tony Buzbee release himself from this without having to take the hit for the damage he has done to the Carter family?
Ooh.
For those who have their feelings about who and what Mr. Carter, Jay-Z is or is not, or his wife, Beyonce, knows, they have 3 children. And those 3 children have had to have a moment where their parents had to explain why the father is all over the press in such a heinous, horrific story. Now, some of you may not know this, but Tony Buzbee personally is worth $50 million. His money's going down. He's going to have to pay for this. I think it's going to go private. I think this Jane Doe is going to drop her case. And I think Mr. Buzbee is going to settle quietly with Mr. Carter and his family. I don't know if Jay will just take that. They may have to make a public statement, as public as they have trashed him over the past 10 days. But to God the glory, the truth will always rise. You stand strong in who you are. Don't let anybody take you off your square. Be damned with what people think. As long as you know what is true, you wasn't there, it wasn't you. No, and no. Don't send no more demand letters to the Carter household. Folks, you better get it together. So they got these other, 22 Jane and John Does out here. And And in closing, this woman who's now 37, been homeless, got a drug problem, she's been SA'd, she's in Christian counseling, she ain't got no money. And you know what? And her father told her, and I ain't got your back. And I'm done.
Ooh, I appreciate you. In my opinion, your thoughts? In my opinion, are you there? Okay, I don't know what happened to in my opinion. Wayne, you there?
Yeah. You know, this is ridiculous. Now, she don't remember nothing. How in the world you can have a case that everything you think you claim is credible is not there? Okay. The person who's 20 years old and now she's passed away. The father don't remember. And now she's trying to push it off on the father. And at 13 years old, what kind of reputation you got? I don't believe, like I said yesterday, I'm getting numb to this. Everybody is the same format. Don't remember nothing. I want to be a John Doe or a Jane Doe. You don't remember nothing. You're trying to sue people, whatever, and expect people to believe you. And they come across trying to be so credible. And somebody's going to believe them. You know, they're going to believe it the first time. But all these lies, I don't know. I'm not going to say if Diddy, whatever Diddy did, or the other guy, that they keep on coming like this, they're going to walk. I mean, any jury, I think, that we hear this case, I don't remember. I think they verified, well, if what you said was this place, but it wasn't. That's, I mean, that's not even enough evidence. What do they call it when they find them not guilty? But anyway, the evidence, you know, it just don't pan out. And they go into court. They're not going to win. I mean, think about it. You actually have no evidence. It's just your word. Who's going to go on your word when your father don't believe you? All these lies that can be proven, who's going to believe you? No jury would find Sean Carter guilty of something like that. Reasonable doubt, I think it's what it is. Reasonable doubt. So if these people come and like Felicia said, he's for the streets. I told you, I said he sounds like one of these class action lawsuit lawyers telling people, come over here. If you've been at a Diddy party, come talk to me. If you've been across the street from a Diddy party, talk to me. I think he's just getting these people, you know, and make up a lie and stick to it. And they can't even stick to the. See, when you lie, you got to keep on lying, and then you forget.
That part, you got to keep up the lie.
And I think these people, I think he ain't got with these people. This what you say, stick to it, you know, because all they're looking for, they're not looking for a huge payout. The only person that's gonna get paid or is trying to get paid is Tony Buzbee. You know, but like I said from the beginning, we said that. I said if Jay-Z goes after him, Jay-Z is a billionaire. He is a millionaire. He can drag you through the court till you ain't got a dime left.
Woo!
Take 50 million away from $1 billion, and how much you got left? Jay-Z gonna still be rich, and you gonna be poor. If he keep this up, it's gonna shoot his credibility. I mean, it was already shot his credibility. You know, he wants to be that lawyer to the, you know, like a Crump, you know, all them Johnny Cochran, and it ain't working. It ain't working. All he's doing is pulling trash from the street and trying to dress it up. I'm done.
I appreciate you. Julius, your thoughts?
Oh, so you don't remember, so it didn't happen. As a survivor, you always remember. Because sometimes you have flare-ups of that trauma. You always remember. But I hate these wannabes making a mockery out of this whole thing just because he has loot. People are thinking like the song from Biggie, give me the loot, give me the loot. They want the loot. That is, I feel, the very thing I am coming to. I am tired of these fakeries. They're going to end up blowing the case. I am tired. You know he didn't do anything to you. Now, to the people he did do stuff to, I hope you do come forward when you're ready and share your story. To the people who just went to Diddy's parties and partied and you didn't take part in any of the debauchery, you don't have to explain yourself, and you don't have to, and you don't owe the public a dang thing. Like that one actress, she went into detail of how much fun she was having. She didn't take part of any illegal activities, and everybody was saying, "Why are you explaining yourself? For what? You didn't do anything illegal. So why worry about it?" So I'm closing with this. And I hope everyone can hear me because I know I ruffled a few feathers, but right now I don't care. Um, if you didn't do anything, don't stress. If you did, well, line up your legal counsel. That's it. That's all.
I appreciate you. Listen, Jay-Z is staying on this man's neck, and he's not playing. Tony Buzbee, he ain't ready. He wasn't ready for this at all. So Jay-Z and his lawyer released new statements in response to Tony Buzbee and his accuser acknowledging inconsistencies in her story. True justice is coming. Buzbee, I know you didn't want to retire this way, but you mess with Sean Carter, it's going to be a rocky road for you. Today's investigative report proves that attorney Buzbee filed a false complaint against me in pursuit of money and fame. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon. Sean Carter, good googly mind. And this is his lawyer, Sean Carter's lawyer, Alex Spiro. It is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without proper vetting, but would make things worse by further peddling, and we read this, the false story in the press. We're asking the court to dismiss this frivolous case today, and we take up the matter, and we will take up the matter of additional discipline for Mr. Buzbee and all the lawyers that filed the complaint. So they saying, they letting Buzbee know, even when this court case gets dismissed, because we're pushing for that, it's not going to be the end. Because we are going to ask that you and every lawyer that signed off on what they're saying is a lie will pay. I wish you all the best, Tony, but guess what? You got the wrong one this time. Listen, we're going to go ahead and roll into the next story. My theory on this next story is that Diddy finally stopped with this fight because he was wasting time and money on trying to get out on bail because he sees the way that Jay-Z is handling this situation. So let's get into this story. Hold on one second. So Sean Combs drops the bail appeal, will remain jailed until his trial. The disgraced mogul had his bail denied by 3 different judges since his September arrest. He will remain detained until his May 2025 trafficking trial. So Sean Diddy Combs has voluntarily dropped his bail appeal, meaning the bad boy mogul will remain detained until May 2025 criminal trial. The 55-year-old has been held without bail at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, since his arrest on September the 16th, pleading not guilty to sex trafficking and racketeering charges. If convicted, he faces up to life in prison. Combs' legal team had been aggressively fighting for his release, putting forward a substantial $50 million bail package, which included his Miami compound, some of his children's passports, around-the-clock monitoring, and routine drug testing as collateral in terms for his release. However, U.S. District Judge Iran denied Combs bail for a third time last month, after the Southern District of New York prosecutors accused Combs of being a danger to the community and trying to tamper with witnesses from behind bars. Combs' legal team already had a bail appeal pending in the Second Circuit, but on Friday, they filed paperwork dismissing the appeal. Mr. Combs does not seek to appeal the district court's denial of his renewed motion and hereby moves to voluntarily dismiss the appeal, the court papers noted. He will now remain detained until his criminal trial is set to begin on May 5th, 2025. He stands accused of running a criminal enterprise through violence, use of firearms, threats, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. The case is largely built around the experience of Combs' ex-partner, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, who sued Combs for sex trafficking and sexual abuse in November 2023. The R&B singer claimed that throughout their decade-long relationship, Combs forced her to engage in acts with male workers. Victoria alleged that she was threatened with physical violence, professional retribution, potential leaks of the footage, and was kept compliant through excessive drug use. Although Combs vehemently denies the claims and reached a private settlement with Victoria, a day later, her lawsuit set off a domino effect. Federal investigators began building a case against him, and more than 30 civil lawsuits were filed against the music mogul in New York and California. Combs has denied all claims of SA through a spokesperson. As his legal team has said before, Mr. Combs has full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process, his media team previously said in a statement to Rolling Stones. So he gave up the bail fight. Felicia, what are your thoughts?
Well, some of you know that this was the last day on the job for Damian Williams. So I'm not surprised he gave up the bail fight.
Okay.
Damian is gone. And so is Tony Buzbee. Bzz, see you. And so those two are out. We got a new guy on the scene from the West Coast. He's coming in with some lawsuits. We'll see where that goes. But I truly believe that the president-elect will pardon Mr. Combs. Mr. Combs got plenty of money, and he can write a check. I mean, some of you know he pardoned Lil Wayne. He pardoned who was the other rapper? So it's not
Kodak Black.
Thank you so much. Kodak Black. So he's about to get sworn in. So it's just a couple of weeks, and Mr. Combs goes to trial, guilty, not guilty, you this, you that, whatever. As long as he's got about $5 million, and he, wires the money, he'll get pardoned, he'll get released. So he has a lot of ways to walk away from this. I respect everyone's opinion. I don't think anyone has to be, we're hearing a lot of stories, a lot of people out here getting paid to do stories that are pro or against or whatever. We have a convicted felon getting ready to take over the most powerful job in the world. And pay me my money and you'll be back on the street, and try not to do any more of what you've been doing. And that'll be that.
Wayne, your thoughts?
I think he knew he wasn't going to get any bail. I mean, so why go for a fourth time? And I think he's real comfortable where he's at. I think he's adjusted to the lifestyle. I think he's running things. I think he got a lot of respect up in that prison.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's gonna be just fine. I think he's gonna be just fine. So I mean, I'm not shocked that he did it. The more he does it, the more he stay in the news, the more he stay on social media. Only thing you better talk about now is when somebody say, "Oh, Diddy did this to me," and that's getting old.
Mm-hmm.
So more power to him.
Yeah. Now listen, I do believe, and I had said this before too, when he came to New York to turn himself in, I didn't know everybody was with him. Because I think he really felt I was going to turn myself in. He thought he was going to be like an Abercrombie and Fitch situation. But look at the fam all in New York. This is the day before his arrest. I'm not lying. Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Really nice meeting you guys. 1, 2, 3.
I'm not lying. That was 114th Street. Mm-hmm. He was in them streets thinking he was just going to go get his mugshot and come back home. Julius, your thoughts?
I mean, I've been saying he's going to be pardoned by the orange chicken doodle. I've been saying that. And it's probably going to be within the first 2 weeks, or even if not already, it's already prepared. Probably his first things that, you know how they always do like the ceremony for the executive orders, is probably going to be prepared right there. So even though, like, we know he's going to be pardoned, I mean, and half of it is all the falsified lawsuits. And then the other half is who's going to be the next president, because they are sure enough friends.
All right. Thank you, Julius. All right. So we're going to roll into this last story. So, there's been a lot of names in connection with, Diddy, and people making speculations about, who was with Diddy, what happened, what they could have did or not have done. And so Will Smith's name has been tossed around with this Diddy thing too. So Will Smith, for whatever reason, felt the need to respond. I think silence is golden. He should have kept his mouth shut. Whoever's not muted, please mute. Silence is golden. He should have kept his mouth shut, but he decided to speak. So we'll check out the story. Hold on one second. Let me just pause this. All right. So Will Smith hits back at claims he participated in Sean Diddy Combs' freak-offs. Will Smith is setting the record straight on online rumors that he participated in Sean Diddy Combs' nefarious freak-off parties in which several S crimes allegedly occurred. I've been seeing your memes and stuff. I see the memes. Some of that stuff is funny. Some of it is funny. Bad Boy for Life star 56 began while on stage at the Observatory North Park in San Diego, California, Thursday, according to a video obtained by TMZ. He said, I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have S to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all the memes. Y'all can stop all the BS. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Smith joked that he does enough S on his own, that he doesn't need to be in other people's S. But there's a lot of documented pictures that go way back with him and Sean Combs. I never been nowhere near that man. Ain't did none of that stupid ass, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air alum further insisted before quipping. I don't even like baby oil, referring to the 1,000 bottles of lube that federal investigators found when they raided Combs' houses amid their ex-trafficking probe. The Men in Black star have been seen acting very friendly with Combs in the past. Smith invited the Bad Boy for Life rapper and his son to the premiere of his 2008 action flick, Hancock. The entertainers were also partying together at a fair in Miami back in 2004, at which Combs was seen eating chocolate-covered strawberries off of a naked woman. They got history together. They got pictures together. At the time, At the time, the Bad Boy Records founder was known for hosting lavish and wild parties for Hollywood's hottest stars, but many insisted that they left before any suspicious activities occurred. Decades later, Combs, 55, is now facing up to life in prison if convicted of the crimes of which he is being accused of. The feds had charged the I Need a Girl rapper with ST, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution, and he is awaiting his trial behind bars in Brooklyn, New York. Attorney Tony Buzbee, who is representing at least 120 of Combs' alleged victims in separate civil suits, had alleged that he has knowledge of other stars besides Diddy's who partook in the S crimes. The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already. But because of the nature of this case, we are going to make damn sure that we're right before we do it. Now, this is ironic. This is what Tony Buzbee has said. He's going to make damn sure that he is right, but yet now he's saying that he did not vet out his client like he should have. He said in the press conference, I don't know why I keep hearing a little bit of background noise. He said in a press conference in October, the names will shock you. Buzbee, who's been accused of encouraging victims to lie for his own agenda, named one of the major celebs earlier this week, claiming Jay-Z art a 13-year-old girl right after Combs in 2000. The hip-hop mogul 55 has strongly denied the accusations and filed to dismiss the lawsuit. What do we think about, Will Smith? Felicia, your thoughts?
Will is an asshole. He's just stupid. He wants to be in on this story now. Is that it?
I don't know, because this
story been out here for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he has had no comment. He could have continued with no comment.
Right.
He could have continued with no comment. So there are plenty of people who went to the parties. I think most of us understand that everybody wasn't part of the after party.
Mm-hmm.
So if that wasn't you, that wasn't you. But the way he behaved at the Oscars was deplorable.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't give us all that commentary after he did that. He went someplace and he was sitting up meditating somewhere. He ain't had no comment.
You better talk.
But now he's talking about all of this. This isn't about him. Maybe send him the message. This is not about him. Or should it be?
Come on now.
Should it be? He and his wife have been caught up in some very public, nasty stuff.
Mm.
And people have given them their space. A lot of folks have.
That's facts.
No one named him in anything that I'm aware of. But let's get back to that slime bag, Tony Buzbee. What he said, he gonna make damn sure what? He claims that, and they keep running that tag that he's got 120 suits. He does not. He said he was going to accept 120. He filed, I think, about 24. All of them are Jane or John Doe's. And as I read in a letter from Alex Spiro 3 days ago, none of them have signed as individuals any affidavits of declaration and affirmation, meaning they have not signed online to say that this happened to them. So I'm surprised, but I don't understand why this Jane Doe came forward without her attorney. I really do think that Tony Buzbee just pushed her underneath that bus, and said, "No, you're gonna be the fall person for this because I got to get out of this." When you're Jane Doe or John Doe, you want to be anonymous. You're not doing interviews. So you do this because he has to blame somebody.
Wow.
So what does she tell us? She's homeless. I ain't got no money. I've been on the street.
Right. I'm autistic.
Right. So what happens if Mr. Carter goes to sue her? Well, that's not good for his image either, based on what she just told us she is. Right? This is egregious. It really is. And Will Smith needs to stay out of it. Yes, you gave him tons of grace. I'm glad I didn't. He didn't deserve any.
But I sure did. And now he in these streets acting a fool. So let me see if I could show you really quickly him talking. Let's see. Why is this thing telling me log in? I'm not logging in.
But the world we're in right now, it's really hard for y'all to like discern what's real and what's true, you know? And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes. I see the memes. I said, no, some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny. But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all their memes. I can stop all of that. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in other people's. I ain't been nowhere near that man. I ain't did none of that stupid. So whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil. But I haven't said that publicly. I just said y'all the first time. I usually don't respond to dumb stuff because it's like people. It's so many things people say, so much stuff, but you know that one it was your memes was doing too much. Y'all was having me mad.
Wayne, your thoughts?
I like Will, but that's too much. Mm-hmm. First of all, he's trying to be a comedian. He ain't funny. And he is the last person that should be out there.
Facts.
Commenting on something. The last person. I mean, you know, he could have left us in. All he did was brought it to his doorstep. Now they're gonna be talking about him. Okay, he was almost pretty smooth over, but the slap. You know, that's old now. Nobody's kind of talking about that. But he's the last person. He didn't want, like you said, he didn't want anybody, you know, let us have our privacy. Let us have this moment, our family and stuff like that.
That's facts.
But you want to bring on heat on this man. You know, with some, okay, if you wasn't there, you ain't have to say nothing. See, some people open their mouth and run their mouth. He didn't need to open his mouth and say nothing about no Diddy, no nothing. Should have just did his comedy special and didn't make no comment. Nobody has made any comment about him. At least I haven't heard any. We've seen the pictures and stuff like that, but they talk about Diddy and Jay-Z now. Mm-hmm. Now it's going to be Diddy, Will Smith, Jay-Z. I'm done.
Appreciate you. Julius, your thoughts?
Foolery and more foolery. Foolery and more foolery. I mean, him and Jada's whole circus is, ugh. Will need to sit down somewhere. I think the original outfit before they made peace in the reunion, she probably should have bopped him upside his head or something, giving him some holy grace or something. But, you know, that's just me. I digress. Anywho, he needs to sit down somewhere. He needs to, you know, just mind his business. How that saying go? Mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business. That's how it go. Mind your business.
Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. It's a lot. Shocking. It's the only word I could come up with for tonight. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Tony Buzbee, you knocked on the wrong door. You went down the wrong road. And Jay-Z is not going to be stopped until you are on the street begging for bread. Listen, guys, y'all know the routine. If y'all didn't hit that like button on the way in, do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out. I appreciate y'all for coming through for this late train, but we kept it kind of, expressed somewhat a little bit. Continue to chat in the comments. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know what I want, right? Shoot. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night. Goodbye, everybody.